citizens of America are now joined in a great national effort
I failed. That's not a thing people like to talk about, let alone highlight. When you fail, you want to do it quietly so that people don't even realize it happened. The promise you made becomes a memory misfire, and then you go on to do amazing and impressive things, and you can tell people that you never failed while you were doing it, and isn't that amazing and impressive? A few months back, I was having a rough time. I mean, I'm still having a rough time, but not in the same way. I was so frustrated that I had been working on so many other people's projects, which, to be clear, I didn't dislike doing. I enjoy working on other people's projects, but, you know, I'm an artist. I want to do my own stuff. Brains was functionally over. Ace and Anxious was being sent out to festivals. I lost my job at MTV. I moved out of my old apartment, and in all of the chaos, I actually had to take a month off of writing because it was too much pressure to try and create in the face of all of that crushing reality. In a moment of intense self-pity, I wrote 12 pages of a script called Why Isn't Brie Making a New Web Series by Brie Castellini, which was sort of a semi-narrative attempt to explain why I hadn't been able to make anything new since September of 2016. It was 5 episodes, and in order, those episodes were going to be Brains, Donald Trump, Producer Brain, Responsibilities, and Deep Existential Dread. I even roped my friends into it. My good pal Marshall Taylor Thurman actually sent me his video from a totally different state.
Hey Brie, I'm in Lewisburg, West Virginia.
The rest of that clip was going to be used in the episode Producer Brain, where I would talk about how obviously I would want to involve Marshall in whatever new project I was cooking up, but he's out of town for approximately the next 8 years, so that was obviously not going to happen. I mean, if Marshall's not in town, what's the point of doing anything? Healthy, right? I even got my old roommates to film some stuff for me, and that's what really bums me out because it was a super beautiful day in Prospect Park when we filmed, and so everything that we got that day was gorgeous. It would have essentially gone like this. Why can't we make Brain Season 3 again?
We don't have any money.
We don't have the time.
You wrote a 15-page battle sequence for the finale.
All of our actors moved on to gigs that actually pay, and our DP went back to school to become a doctor.
Plus, I secretly hate you, and there's no show without Billy Jack.
He's right. So obviously that was from the episode entitled Brains, which was about how it was hard to do anything new because all I wanted to do was brains. And later in that episode, I would have talked about how it was specifically frustrating that we had to stop producing before Brain Season 3 because it was a super excellent season. You can even ask Chris Cherry, he's read it.
It's okay. But Billy Jack—
Spoilers!
Who cares about spoilers when Brains is over?
It's never over. All of that was well and good, but then I had to start filming my parts. See, most of this series was just going to be me in various parts of my new apartment delivering self-pitying monologues with a visual gag or two. It was designed to be super low impact, something that I can do with just me, my new DSLR, and all of the free time that being recently unemployed gives you. I had a lot of technical issues, one of which was this camera doesn't really have an autofocus function, and because there was no one else in the apartment with me, I didn't have anyone manually focusing for me. I had a lot of lighting issues because I don't have a lighting kit yet, so I was just sort of at the whim of the weather and whichever light bulbs in my apartment decided to not blow out that day. But actually, none of that was really what killed this project. Finishing an episode was. So I also wrote a prologue for this project to sort of explain what the hell I was doing, and because it only starred me and it was much shorter than the other episodes, it was something that was really sort of concrete and achievable, and so I filmed it all in one day, and I was super excited because I'd finally finished something this year, and I cut it all together, and I watched it, and most of you probably don't know who I am. And if you do, it's because I'm the writer, creator, producer, and lead face person on the web series Brains. It sucked. I don't mean to say that all of it was bad. There were some really solid acting and writing moments in it, but by and large, as like a completed thing, it kind of sucked. The pacing was all over the place, it was unfocused, the energy was not consistent, and by all accounts, it was a fail. I failed. And that's okay. I tried something new and it didn't work out, but now I'm writing again and things don't feel quite so bleak or out of control, and the intense fear that I wasn't ever going to do anything interesting ever again has sort of passed. I thought Why isn't Brie making a new web series? A new web series by Brie Castellini was some sort of clever workaround to my real world writers and producing block, but all it was an excuse to continue to stew in it. And let me tell you, it is way too hot outside to continue to stew. So it stops here. I failed.